Imagine a city that began as a legend, forged between myth and history. A city whose origins are shrouded in the tale of twin brothers raised by wolves and destined for greatness. The epic journey of Rome, a city that not only shaped the course of history, but also became the heart of an empire. But how did it all begin? How did Rome develop from a mythical birth into a formidable republic? From the moment it emerged from the shadow of myth into the annals of history, the Roman Republic would become synonymous with power, governance, and the endurance of a civilization that would forever shape the world we know today. Legend has it that Rome's journey began with the fateful arrival of two brothers, Romulus and Remus, in 753 BC. Born of Rhea Silvia, a Vestal virgin, and Mars, the god of war, their birth was nothing short of divine intervention. Abandoned in a basket in the gentle currents of the Tiber River, the twins were discovered by a wolf, who fed and protected them. Their remarkable survival and upbringing in nature would become a symbol of Rome's tenacity and resilience. The story takes a dramatic turn when Romulus and Remus grow into formidable leaders, driven by a shared vision to build a city where the gods had appointed them to rule. However, their ambitions collide, leading to a tragic showdown on the Palatine Hill. Romulus emerges victorious, becomes the first king of the city and names it after himself, Rome. This legendary tale serves as the foundation of Rome's identity, blending the divine with the mortal and setting the stage for its remarkable rise. While the myth of Romulus and Remus provides a fascinating origin story, Rome's historical roots are intertwined with the early settlements along the banks of the Tiber River. In reality, Rome was not the only settlement in the area. The region of Latium, where Rome is located, was home to various tribes and villages, each with its own unique culture and government. These early settlements engaged in trade, agriculture, and defensive alliances, gradually laying the foundations for the emergence of a more organized and influential city. Rome's strategic location near the Tiber River provided access to trade routes and fertile lands, making it a desirable location for settlers seeking prosperity and security. As these settlements grew, the stage was set for Rome to assert its dominance and establish itself as a regional power. The development of Rome's identity and culture was a gradual process shaped by a number of different influences. It drew inspiration from the neighboring Etruscan and Greek civilizations, adopting elements of art, architecture, and religious practices. As the city grew, so did its sense of identity and pride, reinforced by the legendary stories of its founding. The Romans had a deep reverence for their ancestors and their traditions, valuing qualities such as discipline, honor, and courage. These virtues became ingrained in the Roman psyche and would play a major role in the governance of the republic and military conquests. Over time, Rome's culture evolved into a unique blend of indigenous traditions and outside influences, setting the stage for its remarkable ascent in the following centuries. In the wake of Rome's mythical beginnings, the city began a historical transition that would shape its future, the founding of the Roman Republic. This transformative event occurred in 509 BC when the last Etruscan king, Tarquin the Proud, was overthrown. The Romans, having experienced the excesses and tyranny of the monarchy, vowed never to be ruled by a king again. With the monarchy cast aside, Rome's political landscape underwent a radical transformation. The Romans, determined to prevent a single ruler from wielding unchecked power, developed a system of government characterized by checks and balances. This marked the birth of the Roman Republic, where sovereignty rested with the people. The foundation of the Republic rested on the concept of residential publica, or public matter, emphasizing the collective welfare and governance of the state. Central to the governance of the Roman Republic were its institutions, designed to distribute power and ensure stability. At the heart of this system was the Senate, made up of senior citizens and councilors who offered advice to Rome's leaders. The influence of the Senate was considerable, as its members, known as senators, played key roles in shaping policy and running the Republic. The executive branch of the Republic was headed by two consuls elected annually. These consuls held significant authority, including command of the Roman legions in times of war. However, their power was carefully balanced by the fact that they served 1 year, preventing any single individual from amassing excessive authority. The Roman assembly, made up of free citizens, also played a decisive role. It had the power to pass laws and make important decisions, ensuring that the government remained accountable to the people. Rome's unique system of government, with its careful separation of powers, laid the foundation for a stable and enduring republic. With the republic firmly established, Rome began its quest for dominance in the Italian peninsula. The first years of the republic were marked by a series of military campaigns aimed at expanding its territory and influence. Rome's strategic location, combined with its disciplined legions, proved to be a formidable force. One of the defining features of this period was the Latin War, fought from 340 BC to 338 BC, which resulted in the incorporation of many Latin and Italian cities into the Roman state. Rome's ability to assimilate conquered territories into its political structure, offering them Roman citizenship and the benefits of Roman law, played an important role in its expansion. These early conquests not only strengthened Rome's control over central Italy, but also enriched its culture through interactions with different peoples and traditions. As Rome continued to grow, so did its aspirations, setting the stage for even greater challenges and triumphs in the centuries to come. The journey of the Roman Republic has just begun, and the best is yet to come. The Punic Wars, a series of 3 devastating conflicts, marked a critical turning point in the history of the Roman Republic. The seeds of these conflicts were sown in competition over Mediterranean dominance, trade routes, and territorial disputes. The First Punic War, 264 BC-241 BC, was sparked by a dispute over control of Sicily, a fertile and strategically vital island in the Mediterranean. Rome's fearsome navy and Carthage's experienced naval prowess clashed in a protracted and brutal war, culminating in a Roman victory and the capture of Sicily. This marked Rome's first overseas province. The Second Punic War, 218 BC-201 BC, is perhaps the most famous of the 3, largely because of the brilliance of its leading figures. Hannibal Barca, the Carthaginian general, is a name engraved in history for his daring crossing of the Alps with a formidable army of elephants and soldiers. His tactical genius and daring strategies dealt Rome heavy blows, including the infamous Battle of Cannae. On the Roman side, the general Scipio Africanus emerged as a counterweight to Hannibal. His victory at the Battle of Zama in 202 BC marked the turning point of the war, leading to the triumph of Rome and the imposition of harsh terms on Carthage. The Third Punic War, 149 BC-146 BC, followed, resulting in the complete destruction of Carthage, the enslavement of its population, and the annexation of its territories by Rome. The Punic Wars had major consequences for the Roman Republic. First of all, they significantly expanded the territory of Rome, including not only Sicily, but also parts of Spain, North Africa, and the Mediterranean islands. This territorial growth brought Rome immense wealth and resources, fueling its economic and military power. The wars also tested Rome's resilience and adaptability, forcing the development of a professional army and a more centralized government. The great flow of wealth from the conquered territories allowed for the development of infrastructure, the construction of magnificent public works, and the strengthening of Rome's control over its growing empire. Additionally, the Punic Wars marked Rome's ascendancy as the dominant power in the Mediterranean, eclipsing the once powerful state of Carthage. This new dominance set the stage for Rome's continued expansion and its eventual transformation from a republic to an empire. In the turbulent years leading up to the transformation of the Roman Republic, a series of internal conflicts and reform efforts began to shake the foundations of the state. The Gracchi brothers, Tiberius and Gaius, emerged as champions of the plebeian class, seeking to address the growing inequality of wealth and land distribution issues that plagued Rome. Tiberius Gracchus, in 133 BC, proposed land reforms to redistribute public land to the landless poor. challenging the interests of the powerful senatorial class. His efforts, though well-intentioned, led to political turmoil and ultimately his tragic assassination. His younger brother, Gaius, continued the reformist agenda, pushing for even more ambitious measures, including subsidized grain for the poor and increased political representation for the Romans. Gaius met a similar fate, highlighting the deep divisions within Roman society and resistance to meaningful change. Power struggles within Rome intensified with the rise of military commanders such as Gaius Marius and Lucius Sulla. Marius, a popular general, introduced important military reforms, including the conscription of landless citizens into the Roman legions. This marked a fundamental shift in the loyalty of soldiers, as they became more devoted to their generals than to the state itself. Sulla, on the other hand, led a bloody civil war against the supporters of Marius and later, as dictator, enacted a series of political and constitutional reforms. These reforms included increasing the powers of the Senate and weakening the office of tribunes, ultimately destabilizing the delicate balance of power that had sustained the Republic for centuries. The rise of these military leaders indicated the growing influence of the Roman legions on politics and the erosion of traditional republican norms. Amidst this backdrop of internal strife, one figure would loom larger than life and hasten the downfall of the Republic: Julius Caesar. A brilliant military general and charismatic politician, Caesar took advantage of the disarray in the Senate and the growing discontent of the Roman population. His military conquests in Gaul not only brought him fame, but also a loyal army. In 49 BC, Caesar crossed the Rubicon River, defying the orders of the Senate and plunging Rome into civil war against Pompey and the traditionalist senators. His victory and eventual appointment as dictator marked a turning point. Caesar's actions, including his reforms and disregard for republican traditions, further weakened the authority of the Senate and increased tensions. In 44 BC, he was assassinated by a group of senators who feared his power. Caesar's assassination, though an attempt to restore the norms of the Republic, eventually led to more chaos, with another round of civil wars and the eventual rise of Augustus, Octavian. In 27 BC, Augustus would become the first Roman emperor, effectively ending the Roman Republic and giving birth to the Roman Empire. The assassination of Julius Caesar in 44 BC marked a turning point, fueled by the political intrigues and ambitions of the Roman elite. Caesar's dictatorial rule and his aspiration to become a permanent ruler had gathered both support and opposition. On the Ides of March in 44 BC, a group of senators led by Brutus and Cassius brutally assassinated Julius Caesar, believing it to be a blow to preserve the Republic. However, instead of restoring the traditional Roman order, Caesar's assassination ignited a power struggle among his successors. This chaotic period of civil wars and political maneuvering, known as the Roman Crisis, would eventually lead to the end of the Roman Republic as we knew it. Amidst the chaos following Caesar's assassination, a shrewd young politician named Octavian, the nephew and adopted son of Julius Caesar, emerged as a key player. Octavian, later known as Augustus, skillfully navigated the treacherous political landscape. He formed alliances with prominent figures such as Mark Antony and Marcus Lepidus, uniting under the banner of the Second Triumvirate in 43 BC. This alliance allowed them to consolidate power and pursue their political objectives. Together, they carried out a series of bans, purging their political enemies and strengthening their authority. However, the alliance was fraught with tensions and rivalries, particularly between Octavian and Mark Antony. These tensions culminated in the Battle of Actium in 31 BC, where Octavian's forces decisively defeated those of Mark Antony and Cleopatra, Queen of Egypt. With this victory, Octavian emerged as the undisputed leader of Rome. In 27 BC, Octavian made a major move, relinquishing his powers and titles of dictator and emperor, and formally returning control of the Republic to the Senate and the people of Rome. In reality, this marked the end of the Roman Republic and the beginning of the Roman Empire. Octavian was given the title Augustus, meaning honorable or great, and would go on to establish a period of relative stability known as the Pax Romana, or Roman peace. With the founding of the Roman Empire, the legacy of the Roman Republic was transformed, setting the stage for a new era of imperial rule and monumental achievement. From its mythical origins with Romulus and Remus to the turbulent times of Caesar and Augustus, we have seen the rise and fall of an extraordinary age. The transition from the Roman Republic to the Roman Empire marks a key moment in history. It underscores the eternal struggle between the ideals of democracy and the pursuit of power, and the enduring influence of visionary leaders on the course of civilization. The legacy of the Roman Republic lives on in the foundations of governance, law, and culture that continue to influence the modern world. With that said, thanks for watching, and until next time.